Hello, everyone. Exciting opportunity today. When we think about the impact of golf, generally it's high quality play with a charitable contribution to it as well. And today, on this episode of the Tee to Green Golf Podcast, we are going to introduce you to a new opportunity, an opportunity in North Georgia. I am blessed to have the opportunity to speak to someone with a long history in the professional women's golf space, someone who's become a wonderful friend and someone who has given birth to something that I'm excited to be a part of. We're excited today to have Denise Killeen with us, longtime LPGA member and a member of the Legends of the LPGA, which is the official senior tour of women's golf. Denise, welcome to the Tee to Green Golf Podcast. Excited that you're with us. I know this is a long time coming, but we have crossed the finish line. You are on the podcast.
Finally on the podcast. Thought I'd never get here.
Well, listen, we're excited to have you with us today. One, we're going to introduce the Tee to Green Golf Podcast community to you, but more importantly, or equally as important, we're going to talk about the Standard Atlanta Classic Open, which is an event that I had the privilege of being ear to and now supporting you in what is now the second year and a very promising year. So before we get started and go down talking further about the Standard Atlanta Open, let's just talk a little bit about you. Please take a moment and introduce yourself to the Tee to Green podcast, professional golf career, what you're doing now, and anything else that you want to share with us.
So I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. Went to Walton High School. Um, Played college golf at Furman University. Wasn't good enough to make my high school team, but I was good enough to play college golf.
Nice.
So back then they didn't have a ladies high school team, so you had to make the guys
Mm,
team, and my guys team was state. They won the state every year, so it's just kind of funny how that all works out. And when I graduated, I didn't know what else I wanted to do. So I said, you know what? I can keep playing golf. Can't you do that? You can always do that.
hmm
So I went and I played on what is now the Epson Tour, which is, the
Ah,
LPGA version of the mini tour. I
yes.
played on that for a couple of years. Was a player of the year there once or
Mm,
twice. Went to Europe and played on the European Ladies Tour. Went to Asia and played. So I got to travel all over everywhere
hmm
before I ever got my tour card.
It happens that
And
way.
it did for me. I mean, I kept getting in my own way. I was leading going into the last round one year and shot like 78 to miss everything. So, it's just, you're going to make it when you're meant to make it. And
Correct.
that's what happened for me. Finally got out there, stayed out there for 14, 15 years and had a good career, had fun, met my husband out there, had two kids out there. So, there you have it. That's golf in a nutshell for me. Now I am a teaching instructor at BridgeMill Athletic Club, which is where we're going to have the event, and just enjoying giving back to golf and helping others live their dreams and fulfill their college career hopes, so to speak.
Well, it's interesting that we're here today, and as we've often joked about, our paths crossed long before they actually crossed. And
They did.
during your LPGA tour journey, I was a volunteer year over year at a tournament that not only you played in, but I think if I remember, you competed at a high level and almost won the event. And so, as I tell people, those State Farm LPGA Classic events are long past, but
Yeah.
our introduction certainly has been a full circle moment. We've talked about the journey and where we're at today. As I've said, you are deeply impactful in the sport. Your success and those that you've touched from an instructor standpoint, they extend to locals, to amateurs, to high school students. There's a few people that are playing today. at the pro level and still looking to ascend their career going forward. When you think about those in the listening audience, what advice would you provide to adults who are entering the game, parents who have kids that are playing the game, and then kids who are looking to do a little bit more in the game than they're doing right now, in addition to find yourself with a reputable instructor, of course?
Well, so parents who are trying to help their kids play need, I know they all like to think they can instruct them.
Hmm.
They need to let the instructor who's, trying to do their job instruct them. From my vantage point, I've never seen a good scenario where a father or a mother has truly been instructing their kid and their kid at some point wanting to be recipient of that. They tend to, like, at some point as they get older, it's great when you're young, but as they get older, they push back. That's just natural.
Hmm.
Mom and dad don't know anything, you know. So my best advice is get with a good instructor and let them lead the way. You can instruct them up to 7 or 8, 9, but past that, they don't want to hear it from mom and
Hmm.
dad. They want to know what the instructor has to say, and they want to trust in that instructor. As far as kids trying to play college golf, it's a hard road. It's not like it used to be. Um, it's a big myth that all the ladies' scholarships go unused. That is so not true anymore. It's a big myth that if you're a really good player, you can earn a scholarship somewhere, because now with all this NIL and with all the
Yeah.
with all that, they they can easily go on the portal and find a kid who's played for a year and just pick them up
Mm.
versus a high school kid who might not have any, experience.
Right.
So, that has become harder for boys and girls. It's just made the whole thing a lot harder, and you've really got to play well and really set your sights as to where you want to go and and how your path to get there, and what your path is to get there, and then stay committed to that. It's a lot harder now than it was, say, even 5 years ago. This whole NIL thing blew up college sports. It really did. It's been great in a way and bad in a way.
And I think with to that point, someone that has the lengthy relationship that you have with golf, in some ways, not only becomes just an instructor, but you also become kind of coach, counselor, and advocate in a
You do.
way
You
that,
become all of it. Hmm.
right.
Depending upon how committed they are and how close to them you are, how long you've taught them for, you become all of the above. At some point, you become their mental coach. At some point, you become,
Hmm.
their friend and their advocate. At some point, you have to advocate for them with a college coach. And it's just as important you do that as, mom and dad and the kid do that. So
Hmm.
there's a lot to um, instructing juniors trying to make their way to college.
Yeah. And so for the T Degree in Golf podcast community, you know that there are episodes where I typically encourage you to put a paperclip on something that's said, and it's wisdom beyond just the conversation itself. I would encourage you to take Denise's answer to this part of our conversation and consider it going forward. The sport of golf clearly is growing and increasing. As Denise talked about moments ago, we know that the USGA on countless occasions has acknowledged that the game of golf is growing and is being fueled by growth in women's participation in the game, young women, but also communities of color. As it relates to women in golf right now, as you look to secure a coach qualified to teach the fundamentals and then have your daughter or son excel beyond the fundamentals, it seems to be equally important that that coach understands the intricacies of the game of golf and has relationships with coaches near and far or that community. And that is only if your child's interest is in playing golf beyond the junior high, the high school level,
Mhm.
and into college. As Denise has talked about, the intricacies of making that happen have become ever more complex in the NIL era, and the fact that transfers can go from a college to the next college to the next college to the next college, and that is a repeating cycle for those that are playing the game, and it makes going from high school to college a little bit more challenging. And so that's a paperclip moment there. Play it over again and again, but you got a little bit of wisdom from someone who knows the game intimately. So, Denise, thank you for sharing that. Listen, we are here to really celebrate the Standard Atlanta Open. It was an idea that came to you about 3 years ago. One, we've made it beyond the idea phase, and 2024 was the first year. This year, October 19th and 20th, is the second year, a year in its planning that certainly has exceeded year one. We're very excited about what we've learned and what we are preparing for. Golf in North Georgia is just as important as it is in any part of Georgia because of the scenic beauty, the challenges that you have with elevation changes. And so let's talk about the Standard Atlanta Open. Specifically, help us understand what was your motivation for bringing forth what we know to be an event entering its second year?
A sage old friend of mine suggested to me one afternoon that I could do this. And I thought about it for a year. And then he came back to me and he said, "Yes, you can do this." And then the board, I'm on the board of the Legends of the LPGA, came to me and said, "Hey, what do you think about an event in North Georgia?" Because they have one in South Georgia, Eagles
Mhm.
Landing. And I said, "It is now June, and you want me to have an event?" And that sage old friend Vic Patterson said, "We can do this."
I think I know that person.
You might know that person. So we threw it all together in about 4 months, 4 or 5 months, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, and did a pretty good job, I think, the
Yes.
first year. 18 teams raised $10,000 for pancreatic cancer research, two scholarships for kids to go play college golf this fall. So I think we did a pretty good job. And I think this year, with 28 teams and a lot more corporate, thank you, standard
Mhm.
donations, I think it's going to continue to grow with the hopes of it, growing into a full field event in the next couple of years. So that's the plan. I didn't think it was going to come to fruition, but my friends know better than I do. It did. Kudos to you.
Listen, and we're beyond excited. I think it's gone from a labor of love to a labor of love and passion. Certainly, it's a reflection of how you've touched people in this North Georgia community. I think it also speaks to the respect and the regard of your peers and how they feel about you and wanting to support you. And so let's talk a little bit about that. We know what we did in 2024. You mentioned moments ago that as we sit here right now, in the final weeks of planning before the event itself, it is bigger. It has become bigger. We do have a title sponsor. But what's equally important is the number of legends that are coming to North Georgia to support this event. So, talk a little bit about that because we do have them coming from near and far in
Well, they're
this
coming from
case.
near and far. That's for sure. I
Yes,
got one coming
yes. So,
from Italy to play. So
yes.
that's about as far goes.
So talk a little bit about that. Talk about bringing your peers to North Georgia.
Julia Sergis is coming from Italy. She finished pretty high up in the LPGA Championship. I think like in the top 4 or 5 this year. Um,
Hmm.
newly a Legends Tour player, and she had messaged me and asked if she could play in my event, and it's kind of out of the blue. She said she'd be coming from Italy, so I said sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we got some great players coming. Angela Stanford, current Solheim Cup
Hmm.
captain, winner of seven tour events, and
Hmm.
even the Evian Championship, so a major. We got Laura Diaz, who's won a
Hmm.
couple times on tour. Vicky Getz Ackerman, we got to pull in all the Bulldogs with Vicky
Hmm.
Getz. So Lita Lindley, who won last year's Senior Women's Open,
Yep.
and Krista Johnson, who had won 9 times on the LPGA Tour. So we got a lot of really good players coming. Hopefully, we're still trying to pull at Julie Inkster.
Hmm.
We got to wait and see because we're kind of tied in with Eagles Landing. It follows after our event, and it just depends upon whether some of these players, her and Michelle McGann, are going to go play in those events as to whether they'll come play. But we have some great talent coming. We're very fortunate, very blessed to have that. I have a lot of my really good friends coming. I got 28 of them coming to
Yeah.
play, so it's gonna be a fun event, and we're just been very blessed to have what we have this year as far as sponsorships and people supporting the growth of this event.
And again, I've talked about this being a full circle moment. Denise, you have heard my story time and time again. And so for the Tee to Green Golf podcast community, if you are able, whether you're in Chattanooga, Nashville, Charlotte, or any part of the Southeast, I would encourage you to carve out October 19th and 20th. Come to North Georgia, BridgeMill Athletic Club specifically, and attend the event. My relationship with golf started earnestly through the LPGA. I may be one of the unique ones who did not get excited about the PGA, but it started with the LPGA. I had the pleasure of volunteering. When I was asked not to, I talked to the LPGA pros about the intricacies of golf as my golf game improved. I would watch the LPGA. I felt like I could mimic what I was seeing. And so when I think about where I am today, my relationship with the Ladies Professional Golf Association and Tour is very authentic. I share that with the community because if in fact you are looking to improve unique aspects of your game, one, come witness very, very talented athletes up close and personal. And two, in a moment, any one of them is likely to interact with you in a very authentic, cordial way. They're phenomenal ambassadors, not just for the sport, for their tour, but as professional athletes in general. So I put that out there to the Tee to Green Golf podcast community. I do know that my downloads are not only heard locally, regionally, but we do know that they are downloaded across the pond. And so you may be in the metro area for business or for vacation. And if your time allows, please come and spend time and watch this amazing event and these extremely special and talented athletes. Denise, as we think about what this event is, it is more than just golf. And you touched on that a moment ago. Much like most tournaments, there's a charitable element to what we've put together and what you're driving. Can you talk about our commitment to community, whether it's scholarship or supporting cancer?
So probably, was this 2025? Probably 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was just an assistant at the shop, and one of my members came to me and wanted to start a scholarship for high schoolers to be able to go to play college golf. And
Mm-hmm.
we started that so long ago back then, and we raised money for that differently then. And it's in memory of his brother, Ed Liebman, who died of pancreatic cancer. So when you started talking to me about you can do this, I immediately thought, wow, what if we could put the two together? And our mission and our goal would be to support pancreatic cancer research along with, bringing people in and giving, the whole area an exposure to the LPGA that they hadn't had in probably
Mm-hmm.
30 or 40 years up here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a great mix. Like everybody loves supporting a cause. And
Right.
pancreatic cancer research, we gave $10,000 to Sloan Kettering last year.
Mm-hmm.
We plan on raising even more than that this year. We gave away two scholarships to two freshmen going to play. One's going to play, AJ Burns is going to play at Reinhardt, and TH Maravich is going to play at Young Harris. And it was just so cool, just the reaction of the parents that they had no idea this was going to happen. They had no idea that money was coming their way for their kid. But those two work hard. And it was
Mm-hmm.
nice to kind of recognize that hard work and say, hey, you know what? Pat on the back. You've done well. Keep going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so through this whole tournament, we've been able to raise money to support both pancreatic cancer research and to reinvest in the scholarship program. And it's been a passion of mine. It's been a passion of Barney Lehman for his brother, in memory of his brother. And, I think it's a great way to honor both things.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And for as much as we have worked on the logistics around the tournament itself, I think in the back of what we all do, we know that there's a charitable contribution as well, and you've done an amazing job of pulling a board team together and gone through this planning, and so we're excited about that, and know that that will continue to be the fabric of this work that we do, not just for this year but the years going forward. As we think about not just this year, but the conversations that we've had with you about what's next. Can you talk to us about what your vision is for this event beyond just 2025? And we know it right now to be essentially a day and a half, 2-day event on the calendar, but we have been tapping on your shoulder talking about a bigger event. So talk to us a little bit about that, your vision there.
We've talked about growing it to a 1 to 2 day full field event. That takes a bigger purse. It takes more resources. It takes bigger sponsorships,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is not, I think, unattainable. I just
Mm-hmm.
think it takes a little bit digging in the right pockets and going to the right people and getting them involved in this aspect of it. I couldn't have done anything without the board that we have. We have a great board. They work tirelessly on this event, and they all seem to have a passion for it, which is kind of fun and nice to see. So, you know, my goal next year would be to have a 1 day, like a pro am and a 1 day event following it,
Mm-hmm.
and then to grow it to a 2 day full field the following year. That's kind of my vision.
Mm-hmm.
The time of year is always the problem, or not the problem, but the question mark, really.
Right.
Because you got to find the right time when the golf course is in the best shape and give yourself
Right.
time enough to raise the money to be able to, expand your event. Because instead of, trying to raise, say, 125,000, you've got to raise about 2 or 300,000 in order to have a bigger event. So you got to have the time. We did a great job the first year in raising probably 70,000 in 4 months,
Right.
and we've done an even better job this
Yep.
year of growing our event to make it even bigger and to hopefully give more scholarships and give more to Sloan Kettering. And you know that's what this is all about, is
Correct.
raising money for the right reasons.
Correct. The goal is to add more to it. And we've had an amazing 2 years. I think we've learned a lot. Maybe in some cases, we've probably have exceeded our own humble expectations.
Every
But
year.
exactly. But the one thing that I think is important for the Tee to Green Golf podcast community to understand is that North Georgia golf is very special. We believe that we're going to introduce not only the legends of the LPGA, but the guests who come out to attend the event to a very unique track. But the track, BridgeMill Athletic Club alone, is not the only one that is aesthetically attractive, but offers players a fair and competitive challenge. And that challenge comes with elevation changes, paces of green, understanding that courses are not wide open. You do have trees in North Georgia. And so it is a strategic playground that is plenty of fun and fair fun as well. Denise, as we close out kind of this introductory episode and introducing the community to the Standard Atlanta Open, how can the Tee to Green Golf Podcast community help you, the board, this event, as we continue to think about a successful 25, but head into 2026 and beyond?
I think just by spreading the word of what we're doing here and spreading our mission and letting everybody know that, hey, this is a great event to get behind. And, if you've got corporate dollars and you want to be involved, or if you just want to volunteer, or if you'd like to play,
Mm,
in this event, it's a great event. I mean, who knows? Maybe we
mm,
go to a two day pro-am and a 1 day
mm.
event. Who knows? Who knows what happens? I mean, who thought we would have grown to 28 teams this year? You didn't. I didn't. So
Yeah, yeah. Listen, and they keep coming right now, and they're
I know
tapping our
we could be even bigger.
capacity.
We could be even bigger. We just don't have carts. So
Yes, yes,
kind of
yes,
crazy.
yes.
Kind of crazy.
Well, listen, thank you for taking time today. I know that your time is really, really busy between leading the board in completion and then training and continuing to coach aspiring golfers, that it is not easy to pull you away from the golf course. But we are excited. I am excited because we've tried to get this for a very long time. And so you have the support of the Tee to Green Golf podcast community time and time again, as partner to the Standard Atlanta Open. And certainly as my friend, you know that I am just a phone call away. So we thank you for your time. Tee to Green Golf podcast community, October 19th and 20th is the date. BridgeMill Athletic Club in Canton, Georgia is the location. We will keep you abreast through the Instagram feed, through the YouTube channel. We look forward to seeing you there, shaking your hand, spending some time together with the legends. As we always say, hit it straight from Tee to Green. We are out.